Update 227 released for Payday 2 this afternoon, the second of the 4 content drops contained in the Lost in Transit bundle. Now, I didn't cover 226 because it virtually added nothing, and 227 is competing for its low impact update crown. However, there are a few additions worth speaking about, not least of which, one change that will alter the death sentence landscape across all heists, but more on that later. The update was of course centered around the Tijuana music pack, a feast for the eardrums, courtesy of Gustavo Coutinho. There's a decent amount to unpack as far as this music DLC is concerned, being the first one to release in almost a decade. Some of you may assume this is a new thing, but actually many of us have 3 older soundtrack releases in our game files already. This DLC is much the same. It's an album of MP3s found within your game folder that can be played at any time, and helpfully for me, be inserted into future editing projects. This DLC covers all of Gustavo's releases up until late 2021, including initial campaign songs such as Trick of the Trade from Shacklethorne Auction, DLC songs from the Silk Road campaign such as the iconic Deadeye, and update music from any events at the time, as with today's Payday 2, one of the catchiest Christmas songs ever released.
It's a wonderful day to rob a bank, maybe even 2.
In total, it includes 14 songs, with Silk Road being my personal favourite of the bunch as a composition I hadn't previously heard in full. Now, you might assume, as I gush over Gustavo's talent as a musician, that this is a hard recommendation, but some other news we were given today in today's update might understandably sway you from shelling out roughly $3 on this standalone DLC. This album is coming to Spotify. Yet that's huge news for fans of the soundtrack, and something I'm pleasantly surprised to see Overkill announce alongside the release, allowing you to inform your purchase with perfect knowledge. Unless of course you pre-purchase the Lost in Transit DLC bundle for this exclusive music alone. In that case, you're kinda hard out of luck. Where do I stand on all of this? Well, I obviously already own the bundle, so it won't impact my decision making, but coming at it completely impartially, I'm pretty sure I'd hold out for the Spotify release in a world where I didn't make content for this game. In any case, I'm happy to see that Overkill is planning to make Payday's legendary music more accessible again, and expect to see both the City of Gold and Texas Heat campaign scores rolled out over the next 12 months. Before we move on from the DLC though, it is worth mentioning that there are a few cosmetic items added to the purchase to sweeten the deal. You thought the Mexico campaign was over, and with it releases of Day of the Dead themed apparel, well, how wrong you were, with the Pistolero Muerto suit, pallbearer gloves, and Tellerana mask making me feel like Raul the Mexican Ghoul. We also received a rooster and a skull to hang on our weapons, as well as a seriously sweet new weapon colour, the Heist in Peace. I can genuinely see people going out of their way to purchase this DLC just for how good this reskin looks. 100% the equal of anything released within official colour packs over the years. If that swayed you to a purchase, you can check out today's update DLC from the description below. However, as I mentioned, Update 227 brought one more sweeping change that's going to make a far greater impact than any single weapon skin. The US Marshal enemy can now spawn across all heists in the game. These tracer round firing duos were previously limited to spawning on Midland Ranch, but have now been added as regular enemies within every heist pool across every single difficulty. If you've heard my thoughts on these guys in the past, you'll know little has changed with their widespread addition, but I think they're a fine concept as a sort of 105 damage dealing hybrid SWAT sniper that was designed to slightly weaken armor gating playstyles, chiefly anarchist. But in practice, they clumsily draw attention to themselves, can't hit the broadside of a barn, and tend to not impact the heist remotely to the level of other special enemy types. I'll obviously get more time to test them now that they're appearing everywhere, so maybe my opinion will change with experience, but as it stands, I'm not particularly psyched about their widespread addition, and would rather have seen their mechanics refined across the course of the Texas Heat campaign first. One thing to note is that they have an incredibly awkward death sentence health pool at 2,480, and they can't be marked by high value targets, which is surely an oversight, making them a little awkward for most optimised builds to take out. So hey, maybe they'll shake up the meta somewhat. Time will tell. And in saying that, I do plan to make a How Does Payday Work video on the US Marshal now he's found his way onto every heist, just as I did with bulldozers, in the hope to better explain their strange quirks. Oh, and you might have noticed I say every heist. Well, I really do mean it, as there are regional variations of the enemy that are reskinned to fit into our foreign escapades too. So at least that makes a modicum of sense. As you can probably tell, I've not been blown away by Update 227. I think the Spotify news is brilliant, really rate the new weapon skin, and hope the US Marshal can leave me pleasantly surprised in the long run, but need more than that to get truly excited, especially when Percy is still so fresh in the mind. Well, expecting great things from the next Texas Heat DLC, releasing on September the 21st, and possibly explaining the addition of these 3 achievements. It's been a while since we've gone achievement hunting in a weapon DLC, so I'll see you all very soon. A huge thank you to my dedicated Patreon backers. If you want to join this crew in going infamous, check out the link below and pledge as little as $2 to see your name in the credits, or get 24-hour early access to future videos and vote on upcoming content. Take care, I'll see you all soon.